Alright, so we have game 3 up on the board here, and we have, well, some things that jumped out to me immediately were Procession and Bridge Troll. Bridge Troll because I have the 5-2 right away. Also because there is Armory right below it, and if you could stick your Bridge Troll in play first, then your Armory could start gaining 5 costs. Well, it wouldn't be 5 costs at the time, but after the Bridge Troll goes away, there would be 5 costs. So with a bridge troll down, you could potentially gain more bridge trolls. With enough bridge trolls down, you could gain provinces, which is exciting. Always exciting to be able to gain provinces rather than buy them. So with that, there's also Procession, which I have to think about a lot on this board. Not the best with it, so I have to decide whether it is useful or not here, how to make use of it if it is useful. So I do open with the bridge troll. Another possible opening was with the swamp hag because there are no ways to get rid of curses in this deck. Once you put them there, you are stuck with them. So there is a potential of you getting swamp hag locked, meaning there's always a swamp hag in play. So anything you buy, you will take curses in. But I go for the bridge troll first just because of the whole armory thing. Also, I didn't really think too much at swamp hag. I felt like the bridge troll was just stronger, but I might be wrong about that. Anyways, so I open bridge troll nothing because buying the estate doesn't really help. I would rather buy an island when the hovel is in hand to get rid of that, and then I could use the island to put aside something. That is the only form of attraction on this board, by the way. The island, which is very slow, very cumbersome. You could use a procession on an island to set aside 2 things, but I mean that is takes a lot of resources and time to set up for the Trashin, so the Trashin doesn't look particularly attractive here. So against Bridge Troll and nothing, my opponent goes for double Enchantress, which is fine, right? I was expecting Armory Enchantress from him, but he went for double Enchantress, and now I add an Enchantress into my deck. So I know I have 3 terminals in my deck on turn 5, and I thought it was still somewhat okay to do it for a couple reasons. One is, well, 2 of the terminals are duration cards, so they don't really count as whole terminals, they count as half terminals because they stay out your deck half the time, as one way to think about it. Another reason is that with the enchantresses around on my opponent's side, terminal collision isn't terrible because I could just use one of the terminals to get around the Enchantress attack. And the third reason is the Necropolis here. I might draw both terminals with my Necropolis and then still be okay. So unfortunately there I drew into my armory, so I'm not able to use it after I have the bridge troll in play, like here for example, but maybe next time, right? Maybe next time. So a note on Enchantress here, Enchantress is the only form of plus cards, although it is quite weak. You know, you only get 2 cards in 2 turns. That's not particularly great, but you still have to try to get as many of those in play as possible if you want to do something significant here. To me, something significant on this board is sticking a lot of bridge trolls in play. And I think you have to stick bridge trolls in play. I don't think you could use Procession on bridge troll to get the benefit twice. You can do that with bridge, but not bridge troll, I believe. Anyways, so what has been happening so far is that my opponent has been putting me under a lot of pressure with this Enchantress thing. This is real bad, right? And happened because of the Enchantress play from my opponent. I'm unable to again get this bridge troll first, armory second thing going there. I had to use my village as fodder, and unfortunately, again, not having any of that uh, cooperation between the bridge troll and my armory. My opponent still has not picked up an armory. He now has a procession though, and has I think a few more enchantresses than me. So a bit interested to see the procession. At this point in the game, I couldn't really see a use for procession. I definitely didn't want to use it on enchantress because it is the only source of plus cards. I could see you using it on armory though. Using procession on armory seems nice because that's a nice way to gain a bridge troll plus maybe village enchantress, or maybe, you know, bridge trolls or whatever. So that is perhaps the most attractive target for Procession in my head right now. My opponent uses his Procession on an Enchantress here and picks up an Armory with it. So very interesting. It means his Procession stays out of the shuffle for a turn. And also he gets rid of one of his Enchantresses. I mean, he did have a lot, but I still don't think you want to get rid of them. I don't know. Maybe it was okay. Can't really say much more about that. What I can say is that neither of us have bought a Swamp Hag yet, which I feel like is wrong from both of us. We should have picked up at least a Swamp Hag just to keep that pressure up on your opponent. Also, another thing of note is Golem on this board. This kind of deck with his no trashing or next to no trashing, my opponent did manage to pick up an island and set aside something with it. But with this kind of deck, the Golem is gonna shine, and I feel like at this point too, we both of us should have had a potion in our decks. But I was worried about picking up the potion because it's very frustrating to buy a potion and then not be able to buy a golem with it right away. It's just a tremendous waste of 4 coin in my head. And I was worried, scared that I would not be able to get to golem because of the bridge trolls around. So my opponent now picks up a swamp hag here. He manages to stick his bridge troll down and then use procession on an armory. That's beautiful. That's excellent for him. That's excellent. That is quite a good turn, and now I'm starting to be a little bit intimidated by that procession. Maybe it's doing a lot of work. Maybe now it's time for me to get a procession. So I do, and that's all I had. I thought I could pick up one more village here, but I don't have the money to do that because of the bridge trolls. Now he's sticking a lot of bridge trolls in play, right? And he picks up the last 2 enchantresses. So I'm not sure how the split went, but I think he has more of them now, even after using Procession on one of his. So, I finally managed to line up this Bridge Troll Armory thing and pick up a Bridge Troll myself. So that goes on top of the deck. It does mean I give up playing an Enchantress, but like I said, the Bridge Trolls are very, very good cards here. Very, very good cards. I mean, you don't have to have like all of your deck in play, but if you could stick 5 or 6 bridge trolls in play with a handful of money, you have a lot of power on that turn. So we'll see what we could make of that. So Procession again, this time being used on a village to pick up an island, and he buys another village here. So piles now. Piles are an issue. Piles are something you have to take note of with all these bridge trolls flying around. Procession gaining action cards, you know, especially Procession on Armory. And here I pick up a potion. Now, it felt wrong when I bought it, and I still think it's wrong. I think it's way too late to go picking up a Procession. Not a Procession, a potion. Golem is nice, but I don't think there's time for it. I don't think there's time for it. I don't know why, despite thinking it was bad at the time, I still went for the potion. I could have just as easily picked up a Procession, which is a much more useful tool for the end game. The potion is terrible junk, you know? Just yellow in disguise, but purple truly. Anyways, so my opponent actually does nothing on his turn. He has a couple Swamp Hags now, right? I don't have the Swamp Hags because I've been preferring to pick up the Bridge Trolls, but like I said, the Swamp Hag is very, very nice against the Bridge Trolls. Bridge Trolls will reduce the price of things and give you buys, but if a Swamp Hag is in play, you might not want to use all your buys and you'd make full use of your discount. So there's that you have to consider. Here, I am able to stick a couple trolls down. This is great. This is exactly what I want to see. You know, stick a couple trolls down and maybe next turn I could get a couple more down. And I have a lot of strength, right? Especially after this turn, I am a little bit hopeful because I managed to process an Enchantress and put an Enchantress in play. So I'll be drawing 6 cards at the start of my turn here. That's okay. That's not a problem. I didn't buy anything, avoiding the curses from my opponent's Swamp Hag, and we'll see what I draw into on this turn here. So 7 and 2 buys from my opponent, and he thinks for quite a while here on what to buy because piles are close. Piles are close to finishing, is what I mean. So he has to think about picking up some points. My battery is running low, as you can see, but I rectify that immediately. Apologies. He does pick up some points here, but it's not enough. It's not enough to prevent a pilot because he just picks up an island and another bridge troll. So him taking that last bridge troll and me seeing my hand here makes me stop for a while and wonder, do I have a win in hand? And as it turns out, with what I drew into, I do have a win in hand. I did make the mistake of not uh, checking to see if my opponent had an enchantress in play. He did, and that messed up my win in my head. I told him that I didn't notice about his enchantress, and he graciously offered to allow me to undo, which gave me the win that I worked out before. Maybe I would have had a win some other way, but he offered to undo, so I was happy for that. So what I'm gonna do is use Procession on Armory, top deck 2 bridge trolls, gain another bridge troll from trashing an Armory, gain another bridge troll from trashing a Procession. That pile is done. Last Procession will be used on Village to draw the 2 top deck bridge trolls. Stick those in play and then just buy the villages out and whatever points you need. So Procession is strong. I know that. I just don't know how to use it. Anyways, I come out here with the W. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the